Welcome back to Dave's Garage. It's been forever since I've posted a video about derby cars. We've got a derby car behind me. If you notice, it has my roof sign on it, but it doesn't have my name. Actually, this car was for a guy on my fire department. He wanted to run, so I help him out the best way I can, and basically we just kind of threw my whole setup in this 97 Chevy Cavalier. As you can see, I actually now have a bigger garage where I can actually walk all the way around the vehicle and actually do something out here. It's been very nice. This is actually the first build in this garage for me, and it's been a blessing. I love it. So we're going to talk about this car. I did not do anything about showing any of the build, but we're going to go over the aftermath. I wish I would have done like a time lapse of, believe it or not, I had my wife and the guy that owns this car and another friend, and we could have had this thing knocked out in probably 8 hours and ready to derby, but unfortunately I've run out of shielding gas, and I've had a little problem with air gas saying that my lease is up. So, and it's not up until next year, but they're saying big long story, it's stupid. But let's check out the 512 car drove by Nick Smith and kind of go over it. His heat went pretty well. It was just this Saturday, what was it, August the 3rd, Preble County, Ohio, Derby. 13 heats of cars. It was, the bone stocks like this, wire up. You had your modifieds, you had trucks, you had minivans. Wow, what a derby. And the minivans, we may have to build one next year. So, but I have no bone stock yet. I am thinking about another derby up in the future, and let's see if I can get a car here and get it built. But we only have one gas tank, but once I get another shielding tank, I can put together this gas tanks over here on the bench, and I had to build another one. So, all right, let's get on to it, stop rambling, and see what this car looks like. So here, we'll just start here in the rear. Did have a donut on the back, but now the donut has to be switched out to the front. This car ran speed 8 because of the bent strut. So we'll just kind of start back here. The bumper was totally stripped off of this car. I cut it right at the factory, right there. And really, this rear frame per se mount that's back here in this car is not, it's twisted a little bit, but it's still straight. Just the same over here, but right up under it, it's buckling just a little bit. And rear tire's still good and straight. Really not too much going on inside of this trunk area. This will probably be pulled out again, and then we'll actually notch the inside of this frame to allow this thing to start curling up, bring up the spare tire area in it. Even the speaker deck, it's not even bent. Fuel cell, we did dimple down the what would be kind of the tunnel to allow the gas tank to have room for the front part of the nipple going over into the fuel pump. Has a back bar in it, which you can see that back bar was doing its job because it's keeping it out. So did the same thing on the other side, keeping this from this folding in. And at derbies, I love how people just start using your car as a freaking trash can. Look at all this crap. Now over here, you can see that the back bar was actually, with the hits, was starting to push in on that a little bit. So it's still in pretty good condition. Got her strap. Shot of our fuel pump again. Dashboard top end was stripped off. This is the airbag cover, which does not have the airbag, but the computer is laid in there, tucked in there. It's got a towel over it and all that fun stuff and strapped in. This is just a cover to kind of protect the computer from people from the Derby walking around. The computer and these are mounted right here. This sheet metal is now all bent where the computer was tucked up in there. You unbolt it and bring it down, and then disconnect your computer, and then the wiring runs up under here in the front end of this course, under the core support, and comes back up, and then you can just pull your wiring up inside the engine compartment, and it just runs straight up and over. Also the battery connections, which I can't find. It's kind of dark in here, but here's another, you know, you kind of want to do, but you can probably get away not doing it, but I do it no matter what to any of my cars. I get a new coolant temp sensor and just rehook it up outside and zip tie it in there. Did not put any kind of filter or sock over this. That went well. Really had no engine issues in this vehicle. And then we just take a you know, radiator hose and then wrap the computer wires and the negative and the positives to kind of protect it from the hood and take it up into the vehicle. On the front radiator, this radiator was replaced because it had a crack in the radiator over here. We're going to take the old radiator and actually JB weld that one and fix it. But this radiator did leak within the fins. Haven't taken this radiator out, but I took off both of the radiator supports, and then I just use seat belts, as you can see, pull them kind of tight, and then just self-tapped them to the upper core support. Everything on the front end of this vehicle is still straight, still a good front bumper, which is, I feel, you know, just looking at this thing, you know, it's all still straight. You know, for out of 20 cars and then placing 6, this thing's in pretty dang good shape. Other than we are bent up, plan on pulling that out and re-straightening that tie rod. Our lower control arm's still in good shape. Kind of looks like it's twisted a little bit this way, but that could just be my eyes and how this thing's sitting. This fuse box was right here. Took it back, zip tied it back into place. Crap, it's hard to see, but right here, your front brakes are on your front in the back of this, and then in the center is the rear brakes, and I actually just looped that because he's only running front brakes, not rear, because you'll lose your rear brakes real easy. Took a nice driver's door hit. He's kind of a big fella, and it kind of popped in and hit his leg. But yeah, that's the car in a nutshell. Yeah, kind of weird seeing my roof sign running on somebody else's car out there. It was very weird. Hey, that's all I got about this car. We'll start doing some repairs and then show you what it looks like afterwards and before it goes to its next run here soon. We are going to do a #1 thing with these front wheel drive cars. If you can, get some kind of built wheel. We kind of threw it together and just threw stock tires back on it. It's been plaguing me, it's plaguing him. We're gonna fix it and do some kind of built wheel. I'll show that in an upcoming video here soon. So, like always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Yep, and that's about all I got. The video is what it is, so I'll catch you all on the flip side later on.